Domestic Violence Act 2005. That is the roster of today's presentation. It was legislated to take care of the violence being perpetrated on the wives and other relevant members of the family. Interesting enough, this act had to be brought into being in a country where a female has been worshipped ever since the mythological times. Even in the times in currency, we celebrate Mother's Day, we celebrate Raksha Bandhan Day. The married women observe fast on the Karwa Chauth day. They pray for the longevity of the life of their husbands and also pray for the well being of the family. Be that as it may, the fact remains that there was large scale commission of crime within the environs of home, and the legislature had to step in to put Domestic Violence Act 2005 into place. We must also remember that in spite of whatever strides the world may have made or India may have made, in fact it has made in the scientific fields, and it has advanced in many facets of development. But our society continues to have people with dogmatic, patriarchal mindset. The age old proverb which said that a family is blessed if women are worshipped there. Perhaps you all will agree that it is no longer applicable in the current times. There are families, by and large, where a female is accorded a place of sacrosanct, where reverence is shown to the female members of the families. At the same time, there are families, not in very inconsequential number, where it is not so. And this domestic violence is not confined to the economically weaker section of society. You would remember a particular sportswoman making a grievance of harassment at the hands of the husband. You would also remember an actress separating from her husband because he was abusive and hurtful in the relationship. These are aberrations. But question is, they were economically not dependent upon the husbands. At the same time, the husbands misbehaved with them and they had to move out of marriage. By mentioning it, I am only referring to the dogmatic patriarchal mindset. I do not wish to refer to any particular individual. It would not only be inappropriate, it would be sinful to refer to any particular individual. The idea is to refer to the available facets in a generalized sense. And the basic idea is to bring home the relevant provisions of the Domestic Violence Act, which may not necessarily be the notice of everybody. Domestic violence could be of different facets. It could include sexual abuse. It would include economic abuse. When we talk of sexual abuse, it will include even an act by a husband of forcing himself on his wife when she is not willing to have a go at it at the moment. It would also include an eventuality where union would be desired against the order of nature. Insofar as the economic abuse is concerned, it would include denial of provision for maintenance for the wife and other members of the family who are dependent upon the provider. It would also include an eventuality where the wife is not allowed to go out of the house to earn for the sustenance of self and other members of the family. It will also include an eventuality where a wife would bring home her wages, she'll be deprived of those wages, and the husband would spend that amount on self, be it for liquor or be it for any intoxicant. We must remember that as defined under the Act, it does not only apply to a wife. That is an eventuality where a husband would maltreat a wife. It would also apply to a mother. It would also apply to a sister. And it will also apply to a partner who is living in a shared household. No female relatives of the husband can be held accountable under this Act. Yes, if a mother in law or any other female relation living in the household would be proved to have abetted the commission of a crime by the husband of the tormented lady, they cannot escape responsibility. The complaint can be filed against any adult member of the family, including the husband, who has been in a domestic relationship with the woman. It can also be filed against a relative of the husband or a male partner. You see, the uh, the main predicament which a female would face in case of a strained relationship would be, where shall I go? How shall I sustain myself economically? How shall I have two square meals a day? How shall I have a medical treatment in case of need? We must understand the law puts in place an institution by the name of protection officer. A complaint can be made to the police, a complaint can be made to a protection officer, a complaint can be made to recognized NGOs, and a complaint can also be made to a magistrate having territorial jurisdiction in the area where the parties are available at the moment. When a complaint is made to a protection officer, he is duty bound to make arrangement for her stay at a shelter home. He is duty bound on being asked to do it to get her a medical treatment from a medical facility. A magistrate, when approached for the purpose, is mandated by law to direct the protection officer to get the lady lodgement at a shelter facility, to get her proper medical treatment. Of course, cognizance will be taken only by the magistrate, be it on the moment by the police or on a motion by an NGO or individually by the tormented lady herself. There are also certain peculiar provisions which might not be found available in the other procedure law. Under the Domestic Violence Act, the proceedings must be held in camera. None else would be allowed in the courtroom when matters pertaining to domestic violence is being heard. A magistrate is competent and is mandated to grant monetary help to the lady even as an interim measure. In case the lady desires custody of a child, there may be a small child, she may be in a feeding position, the child may be needing feed and might have been retained by the husband. She can ask for an order, and the magistrate would grant an order directing the grant of interim custody to the female so that she can take care of a female child or a male child needing feeding by her as an interim measure. the magistrate can forward the female for counseling as well. And it will be in the discretion of the magistrate to even include the husband in the counseling process. Because the purpose of counseling is to impress upon them the circumstances which are avoidable and for the restoration of a healthier environment in a matrimonial relationship. Let us remember the IPC also provides for Section 498 IPC, wherein a dowry-related harassment by husband is punishable by a competent court on a motion by the wife. A wife can also make identical allegations, averments in proceedings for divorce which she may opt to file under the Hindu Marriage Act. She can also seek maintenance under Section 24 of the Hindu Marriage Act. She is also entitled to have litigation pending light from the husband. Litigation expenses would cover the entire litigation. There are certain factors which have to be taken into consideration by the competent court while awarding it. The grant of interim maintenance is also provided for under Section 125 of the Code of Criminal Procedures, whereunder too an estranged wife denied maintenance by an earning husband can be applied for. However, we must remember that if any monetary relief has been granted to the tormented lady under those provisions of law, other provisions of law, that amount has to be adjustable under any amount of maintenance awarded under the Domestic Violence Act. It's not that the lady will keep on adding the amount. The basic idea is that she should get monetary relief, and that is the only object of law. There is one particular aspect which comes to my mind. When a female who belongs to the non-literate section or semi-literate section, or is from the poorest sections of society, who has not had access to education, she would just have no idea about the whereabouts of the protection officer of the concerned court or the police station, because she would be a domesticated individual, be it at a matrimonial house or at the parental house, natal house. Even a common man would not know where the office of a protection officer is located. It is here where the role of the legal services authorities and the other governmental agencies comes in. At a prominent place near the bus stands, near the railway stations, near the colleges, near the schools, and at public places, there should be display of the relevant provision of law and the address at which the protection officer will be available. I must notice a very important aspect. I've been coming across various notifications appearing in the newspapers about missing persons, wherein the telephone numbers of the station house officer or any other senior police officer are given under the notice. Please notice that it is only the landline numbers which are displayed there. No mobile number is displayed. You expect the informer to inform you immediately. Maybe an informer has an urgent piece of information to give to you. If the mobile number of the police officer is displayed, the information would be provided there and then, and the law will be able to take its own course. If it's a landline number, it might be found to be busy. And in any case, there is no earthly reason why the mobile number should not be displayed at all possible places. I must enter the confession box over here. I've been a part of the justice delivery system for a long duration, inordinately long duration. Having entered the judicial services at the youngest possible age, I was underage at the time of my selection, and I had to wait for accessing the justice delivery system at the appropriate level before I attained the minimum age of eligibility. That was the blessing of the Almighty. I find that cases relating to domestic violence, when I talk of domestic violence here, my reference would be to the cases under Section 498 IPC and the divorce cases, even child custody cases getting delayed. That delay is indefensible. In such like cases, it's a matter of common observation. There would not be large number of witnesses available. If a lady is tortured at home, at her matrimonial home, by and large the people living in the vicinity would be reluctant to depose for her for fear of annoying their lifelong neighbors. You can't justify that, but that is how things are. Basically, in such like cases, the adjudication of the trial would have to come about on the basis of the own statement of the tormented lady, the testimony of a child, adult or non-adult child, who may be in a position to depose and face cross-examination, and a medical officer who may have medico legally examined the lady to notice the hurt points where she might be able to show that she had been hurt or injuries had been caused to her. It means the number of witnesses to be examined in such like offences would be 4 at the most. We must prioritize these offences. Nobody finds it very comfortable to be available in the courthouse for deposition. If a matter gets delayed or adjourned, it adds to the torture of the witnesses, the tormented lady, or the child who comes along, or a neighbor who happens to have agreed to depose for her, to speak the truth. This harassment is likely to cause impediment in their aiding the system of dispensation of justice. I personally feel the criminal justice delivery system has not been able to deliver. My only purpose of noticing this fact and making this observation is to bring this to the notice of all the personnel in the justice delivery system. This suggestion of mine, this observation of mine, deserves consideration. Action or orders at their level have to come about in their own discretion. At my level, it's only a proposal or a suggestion, to be exact, which can be made. Viewers, ladies and gentlemen, we must remember that a tormented female cannot be a fruitful member of the society. The children, male or female, who observe commission of such offences at home cannot become honest members of the society, fearless members of the society. Sons who watch such abuse are not likely to become good husbands. They would find it to be a formatted affair. Girls who observe that type of abuse at home, they are also not likely to rise as fearless individuals. My only submission for the viewers would be bring up the girls in a manner which makes them fearless. Educate them, inculcate in them a mindset of fearlessness, a mindset wherein they should have a sense of belonging to the family, a mindset where they should feel that they owe it to the society to rise as responsible citizens of society. Before I end it up, I must, as a matter of gratitude, inform the viewers that I am not adept at the user of the laptop, and my user of the recording today has been made convenient by my granddaughter Sanvika, who is a 7 plus child studying in the first standard. I owe a debt of gratitude to her. I thank her. All my blessings for all of you. Stay home, stay safe, make the society safe. Leave home only when it's very emergent. We shall overcome this COVID menace very soon, God willing, with the help of the vaccine, which is likely to surface in very near future. We are likely to have this vaccine in very near future. All the best to all of you. Jai Hind.